Good morning and welcome back to Four More Minutes. I am the Soul Stir, Sam Bailey, stirring up your hearts and minds for God. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, as well as joining me every day, and Monday through Friday, right here on the Soul Stir. I appreciate those, especially who subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it's the Soul Stir on YouTube. I believe that's the easiest way to be able to share these thoughts with others as we attempt to elevate our thinking in an ordinary society. This morning, I want to talk about miserable people. Someone says, am I miserable? I don't know. Only you know that. And really, the people that are around you know that. I want you to know that miserable people can be very infectious. And what I mean by that is, I think that there are some attitudes and dispositions that are contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. Joy is contagious. Love is contagious. But also, on the negative aspect, so is defeatism. So is negativity. And miserable people, as people say, we know the old cliche, misery loves company. But I don't know if misery loves company. I think miserable people want you to be miserable as well. Happiness for some people hurts. They find a difficult time each day of finding something to be happy about. And soon as they find themselves really in a good, joyful place, a joyous place, then they'll find something wrong with the weather, something wrong with what you said, something wrong with just how they're feeling about things. And so I want to encourage you who are miserable today, first of all, to find something joyful about your life. Realize that there are some things that you can't control and you can't change. Number one, you can't change the weather. You can't change natural forces. You can't change outside circumstances. You can't change people and what other people do, but you can change your disposition. You can change yourself. And I don't know why you are miserable. Maybe you've been miserable a long time, like the man who had been possessed by demons in the Bible. He'd been possessed a long time. And sometimes the sources of our problems and our attitudes and our dispositions, they've been with us a long time. But if we're going to truly be light, you got to share some of that darkness that's around you. Don't allow yourself to be a victim of the miserable person's gravity. They'll pull you in, and they'll pull you in like a planet. Anything that gets too close to orbit, they'll pull you in, and they'll suck you in. And before you know it, you've gone to a dark hole in a dark place that you didn't want to be. So refuse it. And oftentimes we used to say, get out your feelings. That's part of it. They are very self-absorbed, right? They see the glass half full. They don't see beauty and possibilities. Maybe they are practicing self-pity. They pity themselves. They lick their wounds. They feel sorry for themselves. They're very self-absorbed. And so therefore, because they can't find that internal happiness and that internal joy and that internal perspective, they project a lot onto you. And I pray that you will not allow your spirit to be infected by that. Allow them to be by themselves. Separate yourself, distance yourself. And sometimes for some people in our lives, all we can do is pray for them. That's why in Galatians chapter 6, it talks about the process of restoring someone who's fallen in a fault. You got to be spiritual unless, in your attempt to restore that person, you fall yourself. I think about lifeguards. A lot of times a lifeguard, I've heard of people who don't, if they're not truly professionals, they try to go to save someone from drowning and they end up drowning themselves because that person who's drowning will pull them down as well. And that's the same thing that miserable people do. They often will draw you in only to try to get you to come down to where they are, to come into that dark space, that dark hole, that cloud, that rabbit hole that they've gone down that becomes difficult to come back out of. Don't do it. It's a trip. It's a trap. Enjoy your life. Be thankful for where you are. Celebrate life. Celebrate the things that are right in your life. There's so much wrong in our lives, but our good days definitely outweigh our bad days. If you could hear me today and you can see me, it's still a good day. It's still a good week. Somebody says, you're just too positive. Well, in life, you make a choice. And I made up in my mind that I'm going to be just about as happy as I want to be. And I want to choose that. So don't get sucked in. Let them be. It's not your responsibility. It's not your fault. You don't have to take the blame. And just go ahead and live your life because that's what they desire for you. But don't let them have it today. You keep your peace. The word says, I will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Well, I pray that you keep your mind stayed on him today. Have a wonderful day. And just walk in that spirit. Be powerful. You'll have a blessed one. See you again tomorrow.